Our topic says navigating human interactions with wisdom. Let's start from the issue of wisdom. Wisdom, as we know, is a correct application of knowledge. And the Bible told us that wisdom is profitable to direct. So for us to have a very good interaction with people, we need wisdom. For our relationship to be solid, we need wisdom. For us not to injure ourselves and our fellow people in the course of interactions, we need wisdom. And that's the essence of our gathering today. That's the essence of this discussion. And if you see, our lives are rooted in relationship. There's no one that can live as an island, a lone ranger. No. So we need to interact with people. We need relationship. And the greatest investment anyone can ever have is investment in relationship. Investment in relationship. Why? Because relationship goes beyond now. And where you have never expected to come across somebody you have been relating with, just there you will see the fellow. And so that's why interacting and relating with one another must be done with wisdom, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know when next you are going to meet. You don't know at what point in time and in what situation you are going to meet. And so this is a factor, and we must take it very seriously. And so our lives are rooted in relationships. So as human beings, our existence and our activities involve relating with one another. We need to relate. We need to interact. Relationships shape our experiences. The way you relate with people has a long way and a very important role to play in your life, in shaping your life, in you walking through this sphere. And let's look at the terms navigating, to show the direction where something will go. The act of managing or dealing with the situation to get a desired result. A way of maneuvering your way. A way of getting things done. And when we talk of interaction, it is a reciprocal involvement with some people, with a situation, and you want to get a desired result. Taking or talking or looking or engaging is in any way is itself an action or inaction. And it is action-based. When we talk of interaction, interaction is action-based, and it shapes our lives and society as a whole. You see, life is so complex. Life is so wonderful. Life is such a dynamics that you can never predict. And that is why you must think twice in the course of your interaction. Because what you are doing today may become a reference point tomorrow. Your action today may become a reference point tomorrow. Your inaction today may become a reference point tomorrow. Let's move on. Wisdom is required for healthy relationships. When you are talking of navigating this interaction, you must be very, very thoughtful of what you are interested in and what you are going to do. The direction of the situation. Using wisdom to manage differences and actively seeking mutual beneficial outcomes for harmony in our relationship. You see, because if you are devoid of wisdom, you may jeopardize any relationship you are into, no matter the nature of the relationship, workplace, church, neighborhood, anywhere. If you don't apply wisdom, such may work against you. Now, in navigating human relations or human interactions, there are things we need to be cognizant of. There are things we need to know. There are things we must lay emphasis on. We're talking of relationship. And it takes two to tango. You don't relate with yourself only. When we are talking of interaction, you have people around you that you are interacting with. And so, in the course of that, you must ensure that you know what you are doing. So, number one, and very, very important, is communication. And you know that communication is double-edged sword. The sender, the receiver. And so there's no interaction that can take place without communication. You listen, you understand, and you express. There's a difference between listening and hearing. People may be hearing so many things, and they may not listen to anything. And without listening, there is no way you can gain anything. So what does listening mean in communication? It means paying rapt attention to speech with understanding. You want to have value with what you are listening to. In the class, for example, thank God our sister is a teacher. You discover that you may have so many students there hearing what you are saying, but how many of them are really listening? And how do you know whether they are listening or they are not listening? You throw a question, and their response will let you know whether they were just hearing you or they are actually listening to you. Number two is clarity of thoughts. Clarity of thoughts. You must let your thoughts be clear and respectively presented. Why? Because you need not to injure the feelings of some people are so sensitive to words. Some people are so sensitive to how you present your word to them. Some people are so sensitive with the kind of interaction you have with them. And so there must be clarity. You must know what you are saying, just as people are listening to you, just as people are paying rapt attention. They want to know what you are passing across to them. You must ensure that in the course of your interacting with people, you don't injure their feelings. You don't damage their feelings. You don't hurt them. That is when interaction becomes meaningful. That's when relationship will fulfill or perform its function. Number three, beyond the spoken words. Beyond what you say. You know, if you look at the earlier statement, they say communication could be verbal or non-verbal. It could be verbal, it could be non-verbal. So, beyond what you have spoken, what is your body saying? What is your gesture saying? What is your just nodding your head saying? And you know, when we were younger than this, our parents, you know what they do if they want to tell you to do something or not to do something, and where they are, they can't talk. There's a way they will speak to you loudly, not with their mouth, not with voice. And you, you dare not understand. Failure to understand, you know the repercussion. So, beyond the spoken words, that's another aspect of communication. You want to read in between lines. You want to look beyond what is said. You want people to know that this interaction is intentional. This relationship is intentional. And beyond spoken words, there are other things by which you can communicate with people in your daily interactions with them. Let's move on to the next slide. Compassion. Compassion. And I love the caption there, walking in another's shoes. Walking in another's shoes. And you know, when you walk in somebody's shoes, a shoe that is not your own, the Yoruba, they have a saying that if you have borrowed a trouser, if it's not an oversized, it will be an undersize. And if you put on somebody's shoe, then you will know, oh, so this shoe, there's a nail underneath that is pinching this fellow. So that will help you to have a good understanding of whom that fellow is, and it will teach you how to relate with a fellow. There are so many things we judge on the face value without really knowing what is happening. And so interaction with people must be with wisdom so that you will be able to show empathy. And what is empathy? It's the act of understanding and sharing the feelings of others. Is you are exporting yourself into that fellow. You want to feel what is feeling, you want to experience what is experiencing, so that you will know how to talk to him. Somebody that is grieved and you are talking to and is not responding to you, and you are shouting on him or you are shouting on her, would that first of all coming closer? I've been talking to you. Is anything the problem? Come on, let's share together. Discuss with me. Rather than shouting on that fellow. Already with the empathy you have shown to that one, he will be ready to open to you. Why? Because you are sharing his feelings. You are becoming part of him, or you are becoming part of her. And the next one says, putting yourself in other position with the perspective of, if it were me, what will I do? Will I behave the same way? If I'm in his shoes, will I react the same way? If I am in his position, in a position, will I talk the way I am talking? So these are the basis. These are the fundamentals. These are the issues in interactions. And for interaction to be smooth, to be cordial, to achieve the purpose, all these things must be put into consideration. The next one says it creates a healing environment that promotes unity and encourages growth in our relationship. Somebody that feels your pain, somebody that shares your trouble with you, already, that's the way you have bonded. That's the way you have more or less become one. So the problem and the burden you have gotten somebody to share it with. You've gotten somebody to discuss with. And mere discussing such a problem, you are having healings already within you. Emotional control. This is also very, very important. Important in the sense that we are wired differently. Very, very differently. Some people can accommodate tension. Some people can accommodate pressure. Some, at the slightest provocation, they will flare up. If what you have said to him or to her is not falling in the right path, something else may happen. So we must watch this in our interaction. This fellow, how temperamental is he or she? This fellow, how and why has he been reacting to any little things in such a manner? You want to look at the fellow, you want to gauge the fellow, you want to assess this one so that your relationship will be better off. So that there will not be any conflict at any point in time. Or if at all there will be any conflict, it will be very, very minimal. And of course, it will be understandable. Now, responding with intention. So, if someone you are interacting with suddenly becomes moody, how do you relate with that? What do you say? Will you just continue talking and doing this and doing that? So, conflict happens. You know, if you are interacting with somebody, you are in a conversation, you are discussing, and the fellow becomes somehow, don't you just try to wait and see and look at that situation? Interactions can generate positive or negative emotions. The way you present it, the way you say it. Conflict can happen. You know, in this part of the world, they will tell you that sorry has both positive and negative meaning. But you may be innocent in your own sorry. The other party may look at that sorry as insultive. So you must balance all this to minimize conflict that may arise from your interaction. Number two, maintaining composure. The ability to remain calm and remain composed is essential. In the face of provocation, in the face of misunderstanding, how do you curtail the situation? How do you react in such a situation? There's a saying that in marriage, if the husband is a goat, the wife should be a sheep. I don't know whether you understand that. Why that analysis? It is because a goat is considered to be very aggressive, very stubborn, and sheep, on the other way around, is a gentle animal, easygoing. Where you ask this sheep to stay, that's where they will stay. I wonder, maybe that's why most of the time Jesus Christ, you know, in most of his parables, we want to analyze and compare children of God to sheep, and the other one as goats. Why? Because they are stubborn, and most of the time. And in the law also, I wouldn't know whether you have read it, that they use goats as a scapegoat for offering for sin or something like that. And they didn't use sheep. That is what we're talking about. The ability to remain calm and remain composed is very, very essential. Give grace. Avoid rash reactions to situations. And when it happens, navigate with maturity. You see, it is very important for us to ensure that we don't judge very quickly. It is important that we don't jump into conclusion very quickly. It is important that we don't assume that this is what this fellow is saying or is trying to do. I used to tell people, don't think for others. Why do you think that is what they are thinking? It's very important. Avoid rash reactions. Play with maturity in every situation. look at the situation before you judge. Don't judge the book by the cover. It may not be what you are thinking. It may be something else. Our interaction must be, and that should be the intention, and that should be the focus, that should be the purpose, for the good of all. Everybody involved in any form of interactions must benefit from such interactions. Interacting with people must not be one-sided. You must not engage in interaction for your selfish purpose only. You must look at interaction. You must engage in interaction with the purpose of benefiting everyone for the good of all. So what do you do to ensure that you navigate interactions to benefit everyone? To benefit everyone. And remember, you see, I said earlier that the greatest investment you can have is to invest in relationship. I have one or two experiences of how relationship has helped me in life. And I just imagine if while that relationship and interaction were going on, if I have done something wrong or if I have not managed the situation well, and now that I need that relationship to speak for me, how will it have happened? I met somebody, sorry for a little digression because it's part of what we are discussing. I met somebody around 1993 in the far north. And we interacted well. You know, he is a Yoruba man. And we parted. After about 25 years, of that interaction, we met in Abeokuta, Ogun State, Nigeria. I met him in an office that I needed to be accepted. And this man saw me and said, Oga, I mean, my master, I don't know the... I said, oh, what are you doing here? And he took me to his boss and said, sir, this is my Oga. He lectured me so time, this and that. So I can trust him. And that paved way for me. And I had no problem, getting what I wanted. That interaction, that relationship spoke when it mattered. And that's what we are talking about. It wasn't a selfish interaction that we had then. All I was doing then was to ensure that he developed himself. All I was trying to do was to ensure that he balanced up himself. He became, and today, I have benefited from that interaction. So because you don't know when you will need that interaction, that's why every daily interaction that you engage in must be to the benefit of all. It may not benefit you today, consider tomorrow. Practice selflessness. Practice selflessness. Every human interaction should focus on benefiting every party, everyone. Support others, share and work in cooperating with one another. It will help you. I want to assure you that there is no genuine interaction that you have with people with open mind that will not profit you either now or later. That is very, very basic. Very, very basic. Sometimes in late 2024 and 2025, I was in UK. And when I got to UK, I went to see my cousin, my niece. And as soon as I arrived UK, and I got in touch with one or two people and said, and some of them said, please, Daddy, you have to come and visit us. This, that, different cities of UK. Buy me tickets to come, spend some days with them. This one, buy me tickets to come, spend some days with them. And I was wondering. And these are people we have interacted together in different places because in different churches as a pastor. But the issue is this, and let me tell you something, to know that your relationship matters. In my new province, I went to some of the mission field some 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about relationship and interaction. I went to conduct a meeting with them, and I gave them the opportunity to begin to speak and talk. And somebody rose up and said, "Thank you, Daddy, for somebody like you." And she spoke and said, "Not like so person who will never." I cut her off because I knew where he was going. You don't speak evil of some of your leaders that you have worked with before. But what am I talking about? It shows clearly that the interaction that man had with them was not cordial, was not for the good of all. Support others, share, and work in cooperating with one another. Choosing cooperation over competition nurtures harmony and encourages growth in our relationship. You know, in this part of the world again, they will tell you that the sky is big enough for birds to fly without touching each other. It means that we all have our opportunities anywhere without necessarily competing with one another. Let us cooperate rather than competing. Cooperation will help us better. When you are competing, you want to get it all. In a football match, everybody wants to win. In a race, everybody wants to win. So it's a competition. And in an attempt to win, they can do anything to secure that win. That is not cooperation. That is not a relationship. But in a relationship that focuses on the good of all, you prefer cooperation so that the relationship and the interaction can be nurtured, can grow, and it can benefit everyone. Point number 5, fairly. Know others and judge fairly. I watched a clip today, and somebody walked up to an hotel, and the receptionist or the manager there said, "Oh, no, we don't have any room for somebody like you. You are poor, you are this, you are that, you can't afford the rate. And we don't even have any room left." And another fellow came in because I was dressed corporately and said, "Oh, of course, though we are fully good, but you can still find a way to get you a room, this and that." And eventually, this particular woman called the security to push this man out because the man was insisting that he could pay, he had the money, this and that, to push him out. And it was raining. So he pushed him out in the rain. He asked the security to push him out from the rain, and this man left to look for another place to, have the night. The following day, the director in that hotel now brought in somebody. They were to have a conference. Unknowingly to that woman, that was the speaker at that conference that he pushed out. And by the time the director of that hotel now brought in the man, and the woman saw him, he covered her face. And the man was trying to introduce the guest speaker to the woman, and their faces met. And the man said, "You here?" May I tell you, that woman was fired on the spot there because of her action. And why? Because she was judging the appearance of that man. She was reading him that this one, nothing good can ever come out of your Nazareth. You can't have the money to pay. We don't want people, not knowing that this man was a big man, having shades of hotel. That's why the man invited him to come and give them lecture. And because you now judged him. So know others and judge fairly. Not made equal. We are not the same. Some can regulate emotions more than others when provoked. Some can keep their peace. They can maintain silence. But some, they will rant, they will rage, they will do all sorts of things in the relationship. And that woman was just talking anyhow. Even if you are not going to give him a room, is that not a polite way to turn him back? Recognizing that temperaments and emotional limits vary and is essential for healthy interaction. This is very important. There is a level to which some people can contain some things. So we must watch and ensure that we don't cross our bounds. Know your limits, accept corrections with grace and without offense. If you are corrected, take it with wisdom. Look, if you are corrected, you know that has added to your wisdom. If you are corrected on something, it's an addition to you. It's telling you that you are not going to fall into that same error another time. Knowing this enhances mutual respect and it will enable us to connect well. Please don't let us be rash in judging. Let's know and understand each other. I don't know how to put it now. To be friends is because you understand each other. And when two friends fight, they fight to solidify their friendship. Because eventually they will get to know why they are fighting and it will strengthen the relationship better. All right, let's look at things to do when relationship becomes rough, tough, and probably toxic. What do? Because we don't expect that everything will just be a bed of roses. Even our mouths, our tongue, and our teeth, they do have misunderstanding, Abi? But then, how do we focus on this? How do we navigate this? When there are misunderstandings, when there are misconceptions, when the relationship looks to be toxic and rough and not going well, please look at what we need to do. Number one, prioritize your mental health. Thank God when my sister was reading the profile the other time, I saw that she's into some mental something again, trying to get to know more of mental health and how to deal with people in such conditions. It's very good. Develop a mechanism that will not allow the storm to carry you away. You see, the Bible told us that we should love ourselves, love our neighbor as ourselves. Is that not? So it means that God wants us to love ourselves. So your neighbor is not a priority over you. that interaction is not a priority over your mental health, your calmness, your mental situation, your life matters. And there's no relationship, no interaction that should become a cog in the wheel of your mental health. So if a relationship is becoming violent, is becoming toxic, is becoming rough, you must create a mechanism, a way. You must find a way. And that's why we're talking about wisdom. Wisdom is profitable to direct. That wisdom will teach you that, oh boy, please, you need to take things easy. You must go this way. You must go this way. You must go this way. Think about the impact of rough relationship on you. I'm sure we know of some homes, some marriages that have experienced some of these situations. And the unfortunate thing is that some of the people involved have even died. Why? Because they did not take time to look at their own life in relations to that relationship. And I don't know how to put it in English. So the Yorubas will say, "Ẹni tó kú ni tiẹ̀ gbé," is a fellow that has died, that has ended the whole thing. He has nothing again to gain. He has no vision, no opportunity again. And that's why you must develop a mechanism to prioritize your mental health. Don't allow anything to trouble your brain and make you to become a psycho patient. It doesn't worth it. Think about it. Practice self-control. Practice self-control. Take deep breath. You have no control over the other person. There's an adage that says, if you cannot go forward, at least there's a way to go backward. So you think that relationship, that interaction is not going the way it should, you can place a pause. You can control yourself. Take a moment to reflect. Reflect on all that have been happening. Reflect on what you need to do. Like the Bible put it, quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Don't relate or don't deal with the situation as other party is dealing with it. Because you know, if you deal with it in such a way, it's not going to help your life. Take a moment. And when you are to respond, you respond with wisdom. Your response is not going to hurt anybody because you know what you are after. Because you know what your own life means to you. That you value your life and you do anything to protect the sanctity of your life. Next slide. Choose facts over feelings. Choose facts over feelings. You know, in relationship, these two words, facts and feelings, they are two different things. And if you interact based on feelings, you will not get the best of that relationship. Because most of the decisions that we take will be feeling-based decisions. And where it matters for you to consider the facts, your feelings may override those facts, and it's not going to benefit you. So feelings may be real, but not to be the fact. It's not the fact. Feelings may be real, but may not be the fact. So it's better you act. You base your decisions, your interactions on facts. Feelings at times may be a way of pretense to get what you want. And if you relate based on that, you will miss it. Feelings-based reactions may bring hurt, because eventually, when that feelings fade away, then you will see the true nature of the whole thing. Don't say that the chicken has poured away my drugs, then I will turn and destroy and brings the eggs also. No. Thank God, you see, we are in the time of law. The scripture told us, eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, this for that. But grace has covered us now, and not, of course, to continue in sin. No. So what we're saying is this, that in interactions, you don't, a good interaction doesn't encourage retaliation. A good interaction doesn't pay evil for evil. And when you are considering the facts of the matter, you will need to let go so many things. So if someone is aggressive and very defensive and always angry and poses for a showdown, you choose maturity. They will tell you that the ocean, if the ocean is raging, you allow it to calm down. So that's why most of the time they will tell you that when you are angry, when you are tense up, or when you are overjoyous, you don't take some decisions. Why? So that you don't fall into an error, as it were. So if someone is very aggressive and is defensive and is ready for anything, that anything should happen, you calm down. Apply wisdom there, that all this aggression and anger will fizzle out very soon, and the truth of the matter will be seen. So, number 3 thing that you need to do when a relationship or an interaction is toxic or rough: protect your peace. Protect your peace. It's not compulsory that relationship should continue. If you know that it's to affect your peace, step back where necessary. And when you step back, you will look at situation, you will reassess that relationship. Being in control of your emotions does not mean that you are tolerating disrespect in a relationship. When you step back, that does not mean that you are a coward. You're only protecting your peace. It's telling you that you know your very nature. You know your emotional composition. You know what you can bear and what you cannot bear. You may need some space to process things and reset. You want to consider this interaction, this relationship, is it worthwhile? Is it good that I continue with it? What future does it have for me? Keep some distance to allow nerves to calm down. Probably you're stepping back a bit will paint a picture to the other party to know that, I said, look, maybe I need also to reassess myself and reassess my relationship with this fellow. And eventually it may work. Stepping back is sometimes wisdom, not avoidance. You are applying maturity. You are applying wisdom. Now, protect your focus. What is your focus in life? Number 4. What is your focus in life? We say it here at this end that it is what we have gone to the market to buy that you should focus on to buy. If you are listening to the noise in the market, you will lose focus of your intention on your purpose of going to that market, because the noise will distract you. Everybody will be calling your attention to what you don't need. But if you are focused, you know the purpose of your going to that particular store, and that is where you go straight, you will not allow any distraction that will make you to take a wrong decision. And a wrong decision that after you have taken it, you will regret. So, protect your focus. Focus on what you can control. In a relationship, focus on what you can control. You can control your own words. You can decide to speak. You can decide not to speak. You have control over what you say, your utterance, your perception. You have control over your reactions to issues. You may decide to react and you may decide not to react. It depends on how the thing looks like. You can control your character. There are so many things you can control because you are in charge, because you have focus of them. You cannot control other people. You cannot control other people's mood. The mood they will come with is not what you can control. You cannot control their tone of discussion. Some people are loudspeakers. And there's no way you can control them. The way some people will react to matters will show their level of maturity. You have no control over the way they behave. So, knowing what you can control will allow interactions to be smooth. Don't jump into what does not concern you. How do you want to tell me this is the way you speak? This is where I should speak? If that's the way God has made me, so what's your own there? So you have no control over such. The mood that everyone carries at any point in time is not for you to determine. Because you don't know what has brought about that mood. A relationship may be so cordial, the interaction may be so friendly today, but between today and tomorrow, something might have cropped up that has affected either the tone of discussion, either the mood, anything. And if you want to judge based on the past relationship without first of all looking at some things, you may miss it. This is very vital. Knowing what you can control will allow interactions to be smooth and cordial. And so, when the partner, the fellow you have been relating with, suddenly becomes moody, give him or her the chance. Stay back. Don't belabor the fellow with questions, with words. They may not be meaningful to him or to her. Allow that period to go. With time, that situation will go. And if we allow all this to be, I am sure we will enjoy our relationship. It will be easier for us to navigate wherever we find ourselves. We will know what and what to do. So let's summarize by saying, cultivating positive connections involve self-awareness. You want to know yourself. You want to know yourself. And then active listening. Like I said when we are starting in communication, you don't just hear, you also listen. You listen because it is in listening that you will get the knowledge that you need, not in hearing. The Bible says, don't be hearers only, but be doer. And you can only do when you are active in listening. Prioritize growth in wisdom by surrounding yourself with supportive influences. Like we said the other one, when a relationship is becoming tough, rough, toxic, it's not a sin, it's not, how do I put it, for you to step back. It shows that that relationship may not be beneficial to you. And it's better you surround yourself with supportive influences, people that will influence your life positively, people that will add value to you, not people that will deduct from you. And to conclude, we say those whom we interact with influence how we act most of the time. Those we interact with influences the way we act most of the time. And so when the Bible says evil communication corrupts good manners, it's telling you that if most of the time you are in the midst of people whose communication are not good, eventually, not long, you begin to say what they are saying, you begin to do what you are doing, what they are doing. So choose who you listen to. So many people have been derailed today because of people they listen to, because of the advice they receive from people. And so before they get to know the real situation, they've lost the ground. They are nowhere to be found. So choose who you listen to. Like I said, people that will add to you, people that will influence you positively.